All right, welcome to week 7 and all about audiobooks. So this lesson, I'm going to do a quick overview of what audiobooks is, why you want to be excited about it, and an overview of how to get paid and pay for your audiobooks. So let's dive into it. So what are audiobooks and why are they blowing up? How much can you earn from audiobooks, and what does it cost to produce an audiobook? Like I said, I'm going to give you the overview of this entire area that we're going to be covering, and then the following lessons we're going to dive deep into the specifics of how to get your current book turned into an audiobook and selling. So what are audiobooks? I'm sure it's pretty obvious, but for anybody who might not fully understand, audiobooks are the audio form of your ebook or paperback book. They are sold by Amazon through their Audible platform, as well as other places like iTunes. This is one of the fastest growing areas on Amazon currently. I have a graphic that I'm going to show you here. And so this is the audiobook market just in the US alone. Audiobooks are the fastest growing segment for taking in information right now. That means out of ebooks and paperbacks and audiobooks, people are buying more audiobooks than the other formats in order to take in more information, in order to hear stories for people in the fiction space, or to, money books, self-help, whatever. It's just audiobooks are the preferred method for millions and millions of people. The current market, as of recording this lesson, is $3 billion. It's $3 billion. Projected growth over the next couple years, because I'm filming this in 2021 right here, is going to be over $15 billion. And that's just nuts when you think about it. So this is a super exciting thing to be getting in on, as audiobooks are really at the baby stage in terms of Amazon and how their other platforms have been working. Lots of changes are happening, but that's what you have this program for, is I've always been updating everything as those changes occur. So where do we make our audiobook? We make it on what's called Amazon's ACX platform, Audio Exchange, Audiobook Creation Exchange. That's what ACX is. There's two options to create your audiobook. One, you can narrate the book yourself, or you can hire a professional narrator, which you will find right on ACX. Now, for most of you, hiring a narrator is usually the route you want to take. You want an extremely high quality audiobook produced without having to learn the skills of producing it. Now you might be thinking, hey, I really want to narrate my book myself. I want my readers to hear my voice. And there are actually a lot of advantages of why you'd want to narrate your book yourself. And that's definitely an option. We'll have a lesson on how to do that and just get it done professionally. But it's simple. And for some people, that will make more sense depending on what you're doing with your business. But for the most of you, you're just going to want to hire a professional narrator. Now, how long should your audiobook be? ACX, they price their audiobooks by their length. So, for example, a book that is less than 1 hour, it sells for $3.95 on Audible. 1 to 3 hours, $6.95, 3 to 5 hours, $14.95. And so on. Now, $14.95, the 3 to 5 hours, this is the money mark. This is where we want our audiobooks to come into play or fall into that category. A 30,000 word book, right? That's what your book should be about. 30,000 words divided by 9,300 words. This is the estimated narration speed that ACX has for their narrators. It's 9,300 words per hour. That should give you a 3 hour and 22 minute audiobook, roughly. That's the reason we wanted to have a 30,000 word book. Let me show you why when you get paid. There's 3 ways that you can earn royalties from your audiobooks. Okay. There's AL, your audible listener. you earn a 20% royalty. These are people who, like myself, I'm subscribed to Audible. I pay them, I think it's like $14 or $20 every month, and I get one free book a month and a discount on the other ones. Right? So you earn a 20% royalty from those customers. Audible listener off plan, you earn 28% royalty, and then a la carte, just random person finds your book, buys it on Audible, and you earn a 40% royalty. The first two are the ones that you're going to earn most of your royalties from. This is why we want our audiobook over 3 hours. It's going to make us more money. Now, I did some math here. If you take a look, under 3 hours for a book that's selling, right? If we go back, like say 1 to 3 hours, $6.95, you earn either $1.39, $1.90, or $2.78. Okay? Over 3 hours, right? It's priced at $14.95. You're going to earn either $2.99, $4.10, or $6. So it's significantly more money. And this is what adds up and helps you become so much more profitable by having a longer book on Audible. Now, how do we pay for our audiobook? ACX gives you two ways of paying for narrator. One is called per finished hour, and the other is called royalty share. Let me talk about royalty share first. Now, royalty share is where you split your royalties with the person who narrated your book over the next 7 years. So this means there's zero upfront costs for you. However, if your book makes, let's say, $1,000 a month, okay, $1,000 a month, then you're going to be paying that narrator $500 every month for the next 7 years. How much is that? Well, 500 times 84 months equals $42,000. So by doing a royalty share, yes, there's no upfront costs, zero. You might be thinking that's great. However, I want you to think long term. $42,000. Even if narrating the book costs you $2,000 today, you're saving yourself $40,000 over the next 7 years. Never do royalty shares, ever. There's no excuse. If for whatever reason money is super tight, you cannot afford to do a per finished hour, which I'll get into in a second, then narrate the book yourself, or just don't produce it yet. But just never do the royalty share, because you're in a contract, a legal binding agreement for the next 7 years where you're splitting it with that narrator. Now, the correct way to pay for your narration is paying your narrator up front means that you will pay on a per finished hour basis. This is a fixed rate with no additional payments down the road. Now, this is by far the best way to have your book narrated. For example, we take our 3 hour long audiobook at $50 per finished hour. Well, 3 times 50 is $150. So your audiobook will cost $150 total. That's it. Everything you make from your book is 100% your profit. So examples of, different per finished hour costs, because some narrators are going to be $50. Some will be $75, right? So your 3 hour book would cost you $225, $100 per finished hour, and $100 per finished hour. Your book would be $300. $150 would be $450, $200, $600, and then at $250 per finished hour, your book would be $750. Significantly less than $42,000, right? Even if the book makes, let's say it was only doing $500 a month, you're spending $250, right? You're still looking at like $20,000 over the 7 years. I'd rather have that $20,000. So the goal is to find the best narrator for your budget, not the cheapest. Don't go into this thinking about, hey, I can get a narrator great for like $50 or $75. Fantastic. No. Completely wrong mentality. The sweet spot I have found is $150 to $200 per finished hour. You can find some really amazing narrators for $100. You really can. And, investing $300 in your audiobook, it's a no-brainer. But by spending a little bit more, you're just going to get such higher quality. So I want you to think about that. what is the best narrator I can find for my budget, not what the cheapest is. All right. So that's an overview of audiobooks. So let's start diving into it and talk about exactly how to produce it step by step. All right, so we are in our ACX dashboard. I'm going to give you a quick run around, show you how to claim your book. And so yeah, let's just get going. So this is what the dashboard looks like. You can just go here to add your title. Okay, search, and I want my, so all right, so this book I've already claimed to it. So then what we're going to do is I'll show you how to claim this one. I'll go through the process for you. Looking for someone to narrate and produce my book. Continue. You'll go through the agreement. You'll accept it. And okay, so now you're going to enter your description for your audiobook. Now, there's going to be a lesson down below that's going to show you how to format. You just got to make some tweaks to the actual description from your Amazon page into your Audible page. So make sure you watch that. Copyright information, right? So we're just going to take, all right, and then this was launched last year, so the year that your book was launched. Do not put your full name here or your real name, because if you put your real name, that's going to show up on the Audible page. Nonfiction. This one, we'll put religion, spirituality. Do you want to receive auditions for this project? Yes, we want narrators to submit their auditions so we can essentially listen to them and decide which one we are going to go with. If you already have a narrator selected, you would click on this and you would just go ahead and make the offer right away. Now, the ideal voice for your narrator. So gender, my author is a female, so I'm going to use female, obviously. Language, English. Now, this is the Spanish book, so I would put Spanish for this one. And then if you have an accent, you can select accent, voice age, voice style. We'll get into more of this stuff in the lesson about finding a narrator. Any additional comments that you have, and then we want to upload our audition script. So I'll just browse. Here it is. This file's not. Of course it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'll just. So you can, okay. So I'll just take a couple paragraphs here. Now, so for the audition script, you can use your description if you want, or you can just grab 3 paragraphs for your book, like what I just did there, and just use those. Hit continue. Okay. All right, so your chapter names entered below will automatically create a placeholder for this audio in the production manager. It's important to spend some time on this section to correctly format your chapters, referring to the formatting guidelines below. If you don't customize your chapters here, chapter names will default to chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So I'm not going to do this for right now. So I'll just hit save. How many words are in your book? This one is 15,000. So you can see this will result in a 1.6 hour long audiobook. That's why we want 30,000, because then it'll be over 3 hours long. What territory rights do you own? So world, would you like to distribute your audiobook? So this is exclusive distribution through Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. So this pays the 40% royalty versus non-exclusive, meaning you can put it anywhere else you want. You will receive a 25% royalty. So exclusive is the way to go. Now, pay for production or royalty share. We're going to do pay for production. Select our per finished hour rate. Okay. You're probably going to start at, I wouldn't go any lower than 100, but 100 to 200 to 400. And remember, just because it's between 100 to 200, you're going to negotiate with them. So a narrator asking for $200 per finished hour, there's a good chance they'll work for 125 or 100, right? So you're just going to get a better quality of a narrator by selecting a higher amount. You will pay more, but it doesn't necessarily, like a narrator asking for 200 here, probably is going to do it for 175 or 150. So it's all negotiation. Okay, boom. And then post to ACX. And then what's going to happen is, I'm not going to post it yet because I'm going to make some changes later. But what's going to happen is when you go to your account. So when you go to your account, you're going to see your dashboard here. Titles not posted because I haven't actually posted them yet. Open for auditions. So once we go through and post them, then they're going to move to the open to auditions. So this is where narrators are going to be able to send in their readings of the audition script for you. This is then offers, in production, completed projects, and so forth. So that's how you get your book, you claim your book, and how you do your narration, or finding a narrator. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to go in and I'm going to show you, we're going to kind of deep dive into how to find the best narrator rather, for your audiobook. So I will see you in that lesson.